claimed to possess access to knowledge from before the flood, suggesting he may have been aware of ancient, perhaps lost or suppressed knowledge. And this is a quote from him. These are two quotes from him.
Okay.
He said, I have studied inscriptions from before the flood. I can solve intricate divisions, multiplications, mathematics, and writing. This is 600 BC. And then he said, I, Ashurbanipal, learned the wisdom of Nabu. I have read the secret tablets of the gods. You guys ever hear about the lost Library of Nineveh?
Nineveh.
No.
No, I have not.
Was Jonah supposed to go to Nineveh or Tarshish?
Nineveh.
He wanted to go to Tarshish.
Yeah. Tarshish.
Tarshish.
Want to go to Tarshish, eh?
Yeah, I want to go to Tarshish. Right from God, you see. Big stone, throw me overboard. Maybe they won't stop.
Yeah, this story, the more I got into it, the more I'm like, well, this is wild and wild and wild. This just gets wild.
Dude, this is crazy, dude.
Let me tell you about the lost library of Nineveh.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so the king, so it's called Ashurban. Oh, gosh, I've been practicing all day. Ashurbanipal.
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 Okay.
So Ashurbanipal was the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, ruling from Nineveh. So he made Nineveh the capital. And it was from 668 to 627 BC. And this dude, Ashurbanipal, was just not a good guy.
Okay.
Not a good king.
Very evil.
Okay.
They said he actually perfected psychological warfare. And the things he did were just atrocious, like torturing and just terrible things that he did. And they said that his palace was lined with art of like torture scenes and like stuff like that. So this dude was like whack.
Hardcore.
But he was obsessed with understanding everything and knowledge of everything. And so he founded this library in Nineveh, which wasn't discovered until the mid 19th century by a British,
The city wasn't discovered?
no, this library.
The library, got it.
Yeah. So Ashurbanipal, king of Neo-Assyrian, where is it? Rediscovered by a British archaeologist, Austin Henry Layard, in the mid-19th century. And he found over 30,000 tablets and fragments of tablets.
Jeez.
Written in Sumerian and Babylonian languages. And that's where we found the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
In the Library of Nineveh?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And what's fascinating, so this library was huge, and they suspect that it held over 100,000 of these tablets, these clay tablets, and who knows how many more thousands of different scrolls and stuff.
Like, where's it at then?
In modern day Iraq, where
Well-
Nineveh.
Well, you said that there was 33,000 found, but they say there was up to...
They speculate.
Okay, so it still could be underneath? Or
Underneath, they've only excavated not the entire place
Okay.
where the library could have been.
Wow.
But what's fascinating is that the stuff that they did find it rewrote a lot of Middle Eastern history, because it talked about old war campaigns, kings that no one has ever heard of.
Wow.
And the Epic of Gilgamesh, that's where we got that. But then there's just thousands of these tablets talking about advanced astrology
Wow.
that they said in today's standards is still
Advanced.
very advanced.
That's amazing.
And what's creepy is Ashurbanipal, he said that he claimed to possess access to knowledge from before the flood, suggesting he may have been aware of ancient, perhaps lost or suppressed knowledge. And this is a quote from him. These are two quotes from him. He said, I have studied inscriptions from before the flood. I can solve intricate divisions, multiplications, mathematics, and writing. This is 600 BC. And then he said, I, Ashurbanipal, learned the wisdom of Nabu. I have read the secret tablets of the gods.
The Watchers?
I mean,
golly, dude.
But so that got me thinking, I'm like, well, this is crazy. Like, he's talking about, he said he was a divine king.
Yeah.
And that the Assyrian gods are the true mighty gods. No other god can stand against the Assyrian gods.
Sure.
And I looked up, I'm like, what's the context of like within scripture? And it was It was Nahum and Zephaniah both prophesied. They didn't name him explicitly, but in the same time frame, these two prophets talked about the destruction of Nineveh and the destruction of the Assyrian Empire.
Wow.
And so it seems like, if we want to get like conspiratorial, right?
Which we always do.
Which we don't like to do.
No, I mean, hardly ever we like to dip our toe in those waters, but why not?
But he was highly obsessed with attaining this knowledge and building a library to host this knowledge. Instead, he received these tablets from the gods, and was just evil and was mocking Yahweh, the God of gods, right? The Lord of Lords. And then all of a sudden, God's like, "Nope, you're done." And so, this library is built, and then the Babylonian Empire came and destroyed the library, burnt it to a crisp.
Why are we doing this?
But what's fascinating is that the fact that these were on clay tablets, the fire actually preserved them.
Wow.
It's like a big old kiln.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why we were able to find 30,000 of these tablets. And they said like only, I forget the number, but like only 10% of these tablets have been deciphered.
Wow. Because
So-
Sumerian is so difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. So there's
some.
since the 1800s, there's still thousands, tens of thousands of these tablets that were found that we have no idea what they say.
Untranslated.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. Why don't we
Oh
just
my
put our best people
gosh.
on it?
You know
Yeah.
what we should
come
do
on.
is put the folks from the telepathy tapes on it.
For
I
real.
wonder if they're. Oh, that
Dude,
would be
I'm telling you.
insane. But that's the thing. AI now. That's just it's gonna make it so easier.
I know.
Quantum computers. We're gonna have all this stuff translated in no time. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'd imagine they would make that a priority.
But you think about it, man. It's just like, so we're talking about 600 BC. This library had potentially 100,000 tablets, manuscripts of ancient knowledge. They've only been able to read 10, it's like 10% or 20%. They're like, wow, there's history in this that we've never known about.
Yeah.
And like, they're so civilized. They had this knowledge of astrology and all this crazy, crazy stuff, military campaigns. And then it's like, they didn't know about it since the 600s, right?
Mhm.
And then you have the Library of Alexandria, which
Yeah.
was built in the 200 BC era.
When was that burnt?
That's a good question. I know it was built in 200 BC, or maybe it was burnt in 200 BC.
Either way.
Yeah, but and that had, they speculate up to 700,000 scrolls and manuscripts of ancient history, knowledge, all that stuff.
Now, why are they burning it? I guess it's just common. You take, just you remove everything. But golly,
Yeah.
is there not,
It's just pillage and plunder.
power in that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Kinda
know,
crazy.
but it's like, dude, imagine. Like we talk about if there was a worldwide blackout of the internet, if it was just erased,
Yeah.
how much would be gone?
Yeah.
Of
Like,
our history, just everything.
the stuff that's like logged onto the internet now,
Mhm.
and it's like no one's using books anymore, or a lot of people aren't. So if we had a blackout, then it'd be like, well, what happened during the 2020 elections, or like what happened in the for the NASA space program? It's like,
Yeah.
well, we probably wouldn't know.